The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
Rabbi Yechiel Galinsky used to travel the world collecting funds for the Novardika yeshivas. And Rabbi Yechiel Galinsky once time had to go to Mexico. It wasn't easy leaving his family, sometimes for weeks or maybe months on end. But he had to go until he was able to get enough money, enough funds, so he could go back and give out the money. Well, one day, Rabbi Yechiel Galinsky goes to a mansion in Mexico. It was newly built. It was the most magnificent house he had ever seen in his life. He was instructed to go around the back, and he couldn't take his eyes off the house. And he's walking around the back, and he's looking. He's amazed until he took one step too many. And he fell into the swimming pool. Rabbi Yechiel was soaked. Frak, Hamburg, Kapota, the whole 9 yards. He was drenched. Quickly the family pulled him out. It was a terribly embarrassing moment for him and for them. But they felt so bad for him. They quickly brought him into the house. They gave him some clothing. But Rabbi Yechiel was about 5 feet tall. He was a tiny little man. And they didn't have clothing to fit him. Aside from the fact that they didn't have a frock, they didn't have the type of hat that he wore, they didn't have the clothing of Bnei Brak, they had some Mexican flashy clothing. He had no choice but to get up and to speak in front of the wealthiest crowd in all of Mexico, drenched from head to toe. Rabbi Yechiel had an incredible sense of humor. And Rabbi Yechiel said, hey, listen, I think of it this way. It's the first time that I was ever zoiche to go to the mikveh moments before I spoke. Everybody laughed. They took it in good cheer. He gave an incredible speech. And they gave him 10 times the amount of donations they were planning on. He was able to turn around after he tried off and go right back home. And he thought to himself on the way home, he was asking himself, why did Hashem give me such bizyonis? Why did he give me such shame? And the answer is, Hashem was telling me, I'm doing it for you, Yechiel. I'm doing it so I can get you home as quickly as possible. So I can get you back with your family. So I can bring you the utmost amount of happiness and success. Sometimes it doesn't appear that way. But if Adar teaches us anything, it teaches us that even when the Jewish people fall into the most dire of straits, the most difficult of circumstances, perhaps due to our own failures, it's only going to lead to our greatest success, happiness, and joy.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org